Vet Tech Tap Room, the tap room where either everybody knows your name or nobody does. It's completely up to you. You can be extroverted and talk to everybody, and you can be introverted and talk to nobody. We're glad you're here.
I'm
This
I'm
is our
feeling very introverted this week.
yeah, this is a very introverted week for sure. Because Dave and I are gonna be going out
Yeah.
to a conference in 2 weeks where we're gonna have to be very extroverted, and so we're saving up battery life now
Ooh.
to use in 2 weeks. And we're gonna talk all about that here, in just a little bit, but, um oh, I was starting to hear noises, and I realized it's just a trash truck outside. I was just making sure I wasn't gonna be invaded by small children. Um, so Dave, how's things going out there?
Other than the fact that it is like the surface of the sun in North Carolina right now, it is extremely hot. Been giving lots of baths to the horses because I mean, we've got fans on them, we've got a mister on them now, but it's still brutally hot. We had a little break last week, the week before, it was only in like the 80s, but we're back up to like mid 90s again. So
Mhm.
it is brutally hot here. Hopefully, it's going to cool off a little bit before you get here in less than 2 weeks now. So
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
13 days.
Yeah, but it sounds like you are in need of a vacation. I'm in need of some time off and some break of all of the lecture writing and lecture giving that I've been doing the last couple weeks. So I'm ready for. I mean, granted, we're talking about going to a conference where we're going to
I
have
was
to
just
be.
gonna say, we're so excited for a vacation and time off, and we're going to a
But these are different because
God damn
we
veterinary
don't
conference.
we don't have to prep for it. We don't like we're just talking about our
Yeah, this
experiences.
is true.
So
This is
it's
true.
it's a
Yeah,
little bit easier.
yeah, and we get to see a lot of people that we
Yeah, we
really
get to see a lot of
enjoy.
people that we enjoy hanging out with.
Yeah,
So that's a
yeah,
good thing. Hopefully by Sunday we'll have a little bit of battery life
yeah,
left, but
yeah,
I'm not anticipating a whole lot. But
yeah,
it'll be good.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
for sure. It's I don't know, can I say hot as balls out here too? I mean,
Yeah.
we were it was today Friday, we were triple digits on Wednesday.
Yep.
Wednesday I was off and Molly was working, so I had both girls. And I told Daphne when she got up in the morning that, like, "It's gonna be too hot today to do it. Today's gonna be an indoor day. We're just gonna
Yeah.
watch movies, we're gonna stay inside in the air conditioning,
Yeah.
do puzzles and all. It's just too damn hot to go outside and play." And she's a kid that, like actually both girls, they are most comfortable, like, when it's hot. Like, it's July, Olive,
Yeah.
the one-year-old still wears a fleece sleeper and in her sleep sack at night. Daphne would, like, loves to wear, like, heavy fleecy things outside to go play. Like, they operate best when it's hot, and we have to say, like, you need to you need to go down a couple layers to go
Yeah.
outside because
My
it's
goodness. I
ay, yeah,
can't even
yeah,
imagine.
yeah, I know, it's wild. So, anyway, but it's good here. It's actually a couple degrees cooler today, but we also don't have the humidity like you do, so it's, like, not
Yeah.
that it's not nearly as bad as what it is for
Well,
most,
even
so
when it's like 70 degrees in the morning, the humidity is still 90%.
oh,
So
yeah.
it
Yeah,
feels
it's still
terrible.
sweat. Yeah, yeah. So, but otherwise, yeah, all good here. Really looking
Good.
forward to a getaway in a couple of weeks. We're
You got
gearing
your
up for
breweries all
that.
picked out for
Got
us
some
and
breweries picked out, and then it's honestly, it's not that long after that that Ivex is coming
yeah,
around, and then
like
not
a
too long
month and a
after that,
half-ish. Yeah.
Hive West will be around, so we got kind of a few stops here the
Yeah.
next couple of months. So, but first, before we get into all that, we've got some dinner party questions.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll go first.
Okay.
This is something that I sent to you, like on Instagram. Sometimes I see the ones that have like the icebreaker questions, and I send it to you thinking that like maybe one of these will work for an episode. But I found one that I thought would be good for you. There is going to be a museum, the Jeff Backus Museum. What is going to be in the gift shop?
Mm. Now, are these things, like, mass produced that I would be selling, or are these things, like, things that I own that you can buy?
Are you selling all your stuff off? What's
I
what?
don't know, I guess that's what I'm asking, like, am I dead and people are just buying my treasures, or are these things that,
No,
like
they're more like memorabilia of you,
okay, okay. Well, if it's memorabilia, then there probably would be, like, toupees or hair because I don't have any of that left.
or a bald cap,
Or
right?
a bald cap, yeah, something along those lines. I don't know, I think probably, You could probably buy remote control airplanes. You could
There you
probably buy
go. Yeah.
guitars and picks, guitar picks,
Brewery stickers for your
brewery stickers,
guitars.
100%. Yeah, beer
We do
glasses
not
for
go to a brewery
sure.
where you do not stop and get a sticker. Like I
Always, always
you
ask.
can you can set your clock to it.
I know it, I know. This I don't it's behind the door, you can't see it, but the guitar I put them on has probably 3 over 300 brewery
Yeah.
stickers, and I can tell you,
It probably weighs
like, pretty
twice as
much
much
where
as it
all
normally
those
did.
breweries are, and I can most of them, I can tell you, especially if it was like a one-stop thing, where they are and what beer I ordered and, like, something about the brewery.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think brewery
so,
stickers I think should be on
yeah,
in your
for
gift
sure.
shop.
Absolutely. Alright, so, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. Dave was a music major in college. So, just as a music fan,
Uh-huh.
what decade of music, you can go back as far as you like, would be your favorite and why? And I'm talking
80
more like decade, like, to describe kind of the
it's
music.
the 80s.
Yeah,
It's the 80s.
100%. Same for
Music
me.
was pure.
One-hit
The
wonders. Oh,
one-hit wonders, the glam rock,
mhm.
the things that I hated when I was a teenager that now are like, yeah, those are kind of cool. Like you would never catch me listening to Bon Jovi, but now I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So funny story. I don't know if I told you this. When we were in London, we went to see the Changing of the Guard, and it's a whole big production. There's a band that comes out, like a marching band and all that stuff, and like they're doing all this like fanfare and this you know flipping of the guns and flipping of flags and all this stuff. And then the band kind of comes up to the front and they're going to play some songs. We're thinking like they're going to play some like royal tunes or some like, you know,
Mhm.
God Save the Queen or something like that. And they played, no kidding, like a 15-minute medley of Bon Jovi songs. And
Yes.
as the first one
Did they
started playing,
include
we're
Blaze of
like,
Glory? That's my favorite Bon Jovi
I
song.
think so. When we're listening to the first one, Robert and I were like, "Is that Bon Jovi? They're playing Bon Jovi," and we're like, "Okay, that's a little interesting." And by like the second or third song, we're like, "All right, I guess this is what we're doing today. Just nothing but
Yeah,
Bon Jovi." But
love
yes,
it.
80s. I mean, it's kind of where my origin story of listening to like pop music was, right? Like in the 70s, I didn't really listen to a whole lot of radio or a lot of pop music.
Mhm.
By the time the 80s rolled around, those were my formative years. So that's where I'm
Yeah,
gonna always gonna go back to.
yeah, for sure, and, certainly when you're in it and among it, you don't appreciate it, but now, like, looking back, have had no idea that Michael Jackson was that generation's Taylor Swift, essentially,
Right,
like,
right, right.
like, you had no clue that it was
Hold your
this.
roll. Taylor
I
Swift is this generation's Michael Jackson.
Yes,
Okay.
you're right, absolutely right, you are absolutely right, I said that kinda backwards, I just mean, like, the equivalent love, like,
Yeah, yeah,
that, like, would have been equivalent to the Beatles or Elvis Presley, like,
yeah.
didn't really understand that I was growing up in that at the time.
I saw something on Instagram just yesterday that it was a comedian and said there's people in this audience that don't understand what it's like to pay for an album.
Yeah, I know.
Like you saved money. You went
Mhm,
to Sam Goody. You went to Strawberries. I don't know if Strawberries was
mm,
a national thing or a local thing, but you went to the record store in the mall
mhm.
sometimes
Yeah,
and picked out the CD or the cassette tape that you wanted, and you played the hell out of that thing.
yeah,
Now there's no I don't want to say there's not an appreciation for purchasing music because you just buy a subscription or you
yeah,
just listen to it for free on Pandora or
yeah,
Spotify or what have you. But there's no like generational equivalent to like having to save up to buy somebody's album,
yeah,
which
yep,
who knew that 30, 40 years ago?
yeah,
But
I know.
that's where we're at.
Yeah, for sure, so, good stuff, good stuff.
All right.
Alright, so let's jump in because we're mostly gonna talk about kind of conferences and things we've got coming up and kind of our recent past episodes and some that are, coming down the pike. So, first, let's talk about, where we're gonna be, 2 weeks. The reason I'm coming out to North Carolina is
Mhm.
for Hive East. And you've heard us talk about Hive before. Dave and I are Hive champions, which there's a group of, I guess it's 8 or 10 of us kind of all across the profession, that kind of help promote Hive, which is put on by NAVC, and also like we're kind of on-site support for attendees, for the NAVC people, and just kind of like help out while we're there. Many of the Hive champions also present lectures or do
Mhm.
workshops while we're there. And many of the champions have been guests on our show, whether it be because of that or just other things that they're
Yeah.
doing in the
Yeah.
profession. It's a really, really great group of people. And it's a really, really unique conference. It's pretty inexpensive comparatively
Yeah.
for like a 2-day conference, and they're usually kind of, I don't want to say in they try to make it, it's all of course for veterinary technicians and managers, and it's, not, there's no veterinary program, there's, as far as I know, really no veterinarian speakers. So they try to do it as cost consciously
Mhm.
for accessibility purposes as they can. The last one you and I did, we didn't do Hive. We weren't at Hive South in San Antonio in May, but we were at Hive Midwest in Kentucky. When was that? March? Yeah, March.
March. Yeah.
And then we're doing Hive East in Charlotte, which is in 2 weeks. So that is the
August 1st and 2nd.
first and second. Yeah,
And so we're doing this live, but this episode will upload audio on the 21st. So it'll be
yeah,
2 weeks from then that we'll be there.
yeah. And then there's one more this year, so they generally do 4 a year, kind of each 4 quadrants of the US, and then there is also Hive West, which will be in Phoenix on October 24th and 25th. So if you're local in and around the Charlotte, North Carolina area, South Carolina, East Tennessee, I'd highly recommend you check it out. You can go to just search Hive NAVC and you'll find it. And then if you're on out west where I am, the last couple of years, the West has been in Anaheim. They're trying out Phoenix this year. So if you're in the Valley of the Sun or anywhere kind of around Phoenix, or anywhere around Arizona, maybe southern Utah, New Mexico, or that, highly recommend you check out Hive West as well.
And I
The
think I think in terms of like affordability, I want to say, I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't looked this up, but I would imagine that in the Phoenix area, hotels are going to be a little bit cheaper than where they were in Anaheim, where it's like right in the
Yeah,
middle of Disney, right? So
yes, 100%.
so
Should
probably
be a
cheaper that way
cheaper
too,
should be like, if it has to be a destination, if you're not local to it, it would
right?
be far cheaper. And I mean, I mean, I will completely claim bias here because Dave, you and I go to Phoenix basically
Yeah.
every year for spring training, and
Yep.
my uncle lives in Scottsdale, and I've spent a lot of time out there. I love Phoenix and Phoenix area. This is going to be late October, so it's not going to be crazy hot like it is there right
Yeah.
now. Actually, be really beautiful in end of October. So definitely check it out. The program for that one hasn't been released yet, but it is out for the Hive East. And we've got some really, really cool new things on this program as opposed to Hive's past.
Yeah, and more friends of ours that are gonna be there, so that's always good. There's a
Mhm.
VTS track,
Yeah,
so like
VTS, like
a
prep track.
yeah, VTS prep where, Megan Brashear and Leslie Werzak, both friends of ours and both people that have been on this
Mhm.
on this episode, talking about the application process, talking about how to write a perfect case report, case discussions, and then kind of I think the last one is, why do it and where can I go? So what are you going to do with your VTS? Something that you
Yeah.
and I didn't have when we
Mhm.
were going for this. We did not have any guidance on what are we going to do with this and how do we do this. So
Yeah.
it's great that we do have some of this out there. And Megan, former president of Avectin, Leslie, she will be she's the president elect right now. She'll be moving into the president role. So good access to speakers and people that understand what it is to be VTS, career VTS people. So they're going to be able to give you good information. Obviously, Jeff and I can give you that information as well,
Mhm. Mhm.
but good access to people that have done it and have gone through it and understand what it takes to become a VTS and what it means to be a VTS. Really.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple of behavior lectures.
Yep.
The management track looks really great. When we were at Hive Midwest, Alyssa Mages did like, I think it was actually the first lecture of the conference. I don't think they really call it a keynote, or maybe it was, I forget, but she did it with Susie Crockett, who's a practice
Yeah.
manager, and Susie has a couple of management talks on the Sunday that I'm looking forward to. I think you and I will probably pop in and listen to much of the VTS stuff.
Yeah.
But then also Megan has a couple of really great lectures, as does Leslie too. Megan's doing her acid base, which frankly is always worth the price of admission, just because she's so great at just breaking all that down and explaining it in a way that's really easy to digest and
Yep. Yep.
understand. So that'll be a great talk. And I know Leslie's doing like a Recover CPR review. So a lot of really, really great content. You and I will be, of course, we did it at Hive Midwest, where we basically sat in a corner quietly and recorded a live tap room episode, and we will be doing that again. And that was really cool because we actually had, I think we did it for an hour, and we had probably a dozen or so
Yeah, we
people
had a lot of people come up.
just come
That was
up, maybe
great to
even more, just kinda stop, and we had a couple of questions about how their experience was and why they were there and all of that and where they came from, and we'll be doing that again. I thought that was a lot of fun, and as long as we can make the technology work, there was also some other rumblings about a couple of other ideas too, so, we'll see how all that comes together, but, if you're in or around, Charlotte, North Carolina area and you're looking for really, really good CE, but also really different CE, like, yes, there are these talks that you can also see at other conferences, but there's also a lot of roundtable discussions. There's a lot of workshops. There's a lot more like peer to peer, like come sit down as a table in a group and let's talk about where everybody's experiences are surrounding this. So a lot of really, really unique information presented at these conferences, and I think too, just a lot of really, really great opportunity to network and connect. And there's usually like there's always a couple of big vendors that are there and support and exhibitors, but there's also a lot of kind of unique vendors or exhibitors, a lot of like sometimes technician-owned businesses or kind of more private, you know, type businesses, not the big, drug companies, if you will. So just kind of a unique setup and setting all the way around. It's a really, really, really great conference, I think, and something I'm proud to be a part of too. They're really great people.
Well, I also think another thing that we see more with this conference than other conferences, access to the speakers, where we're
Mhm,
like, like we do this all the time when we're speaking at IVEX. Like we give our lecture and then we're out the door, and
mhm.
we may have time for a couple questions, but a lot of these things where the bulk of the presentation is, what do you have for questions? Like
Yeah, yeah,
give me your questions. Let's sort through this right now, instead of, I'm going to give my lecture and okay, I'm done. I'm going to
yeah,
go. The notes are in your packet and
yeah,
we're
yeah.
done here.
At IBEX, if you're in one of the big lecture halls, you could be giving a lecture to 300 people,
Right.
whereas there's 300 people at this entire conference. It's really easy and usually the rooms are kind of pretty close together. It's really, really great accessibility and also just again like sharing of ideas and kind of a much more intimate kind of
Mhm.
conference setting and vibe. So definitely highly recommend you check it out. And if you're on the speaking side of things, I highly recommend looking into being a speaker for it. They take really good care of their people,
Yep.
and they're a really really great group to work with. And again, it's put on by NAVC, so it's kind of got that backing.
Oh, and if
And
you want to save even more money, you can say, is it 20% off
oh yes,
our discount code? Our discount
20.
code is CAFE, CAFE. So if you are thinking about registering, I believe it's $99 full price, but if you use our code, you save 20 bucks on that. So
Yeah,
even better.
yeah,
I mean, that's for a 2-day conference to pay only $70. I mean, that is a steal. That is
yeah.
a steal.
For sure, for sure. So that'll be Hive East, and then while I'm out there, I know we're gonna go to at least one minor league baseball game.
Yep. We're going to go to the Bulls game. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So, see some maybe another kind of friend or 2 of ours,
Yep.
while we're out there, and And then after that, September, we have IVEX, so which is basically kind of not too far. I guess not the same place, but not too far. It'll be in Savannah, Georgia.
Yep.
And I know you're gonna have some talks and workshops and
Yep.
things there this year. I didn't submit. I'm not speaking. I'm just an attendee this year, which is something I've really gotten to enjoy. But I think
I'm
I will
debating on if I'm
probably
gonna submit for next year. I haven't
yeah,
decided yet.
yeah, I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe not.
I probably will for 2027, which where's it at again? I
I
forget.
believe that's the one that's back
It's
in
back in
Texas.
Dallas? Yeah, yeah, I think
The but not it's not Dallas,
it's
it's,
not technically Dallas, and it's not Arlington either.
it's just outside of Dallas. I can't think of the name of
Yeah,
it.
Grapevine.
Grapevine, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I do think it's back there next year. So anyway, so we'll be out there again pretty much a full week, in and around Savannah. And then, as we were talking about earlier, in late October, we'll be at Hive West in Phoenix. So you still have three wonderful opportunities to
Yeah.
see Dave and I together through the rest of the calendar year. And then I know we'll have a whole bunch of shenanigans on the calendar for 2027. We're going to have to figure out something to do because there's probably not going to be baseball spring
Right.
training. So we'll have to figure out
Ugh.
how to find time somewhere else for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we'll just go check out a new city we've never really spent
Yeah.
much time in
I mean, we could
and
certainly do that.
meet in the middle somewhere. Like I don't know, maybe Kansas City and just have barbecue and beer all weekend or
I mean,
something. I don't know.
that doesn't sound like a bad trip.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, I think that was. Oh yeah, then our episodes. We should talk about some of those
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Recently, I feel like
Uh,
we have been around the globe
yes, we
and
have.
back.
We've been to Ireland, we've been to Sweden, we've been to Switzerland.
Yeah,
Where else have we been? I think Turkey? No, not Turkey, Hungary
Hungary. Yep.
and Australia
I think.
and
Yep.
and Canada. Technically, we were
Canada as
with
well. Yep.
Barb in February. We were in Canada, so we've
Yep.
been all over the globe this
Yep.
year. This has been
And we're
our
still
year of
yeah. And we're still
international
working
travel.
on. I think hopefully maybe by the end of the year we'll have an episode with somebody from Spain. Um, and one or two others kind of
Yeah.
in the works as well. So yeah, it's we've been around the world in 80 days, but it's been wonderful. And it's so I mean we say this every time, but it's so fascinating to hear what the profession looks like in these other countries. And I think that the reality is like we bitch and moan all the time about veterinary medicine and the veterinary technician profession in the United States all the time. But the reality is like most of us are fighting the same battles kind
Yeah.
of around the world. It's not like in the United States we're egregiously far off.
Yeah.
But it was kind of unique. Um, I forget which guest it was. Maybe it was Ellen in Sweden when she was talking about because of their universal health care, they never really get a bill from, like, the
Yep.
human doctor,
Yeah.
and like, they just pay their I think it was 100 of their money, like, for a visit, but then they never really, like, see a bill, so when they see a veterinary estimate or a veterinary bill, it seems astronomical because
Right.
they have
'Cause
no frame of
right.
reference for what human healthcare
Right.
actually costs. So I thought that was a really, really which I mean, I think we've thought about before, maybe even kind of talked about, but she kind of put it in a way that I hadn't really ever
Yeah.
considered before. So
Well,
that
and
was
we
unique.
see that to some degree in the
Mhm.
US where,
Still, yeah.
a lot of times we don't see what the total price of things are until we have to fight
Yeah.
with the insurance companies, which don't get me started on insurance companies, because that is a
Back
sore
away,
subject
Dave.
for me.
Back
Yep.
away. Back
Okay,
away.
okay. But yeah, and we will never be sponsored by an insurance company.
No,
Well, maybe veterinary insurance, but
maybe if we could, yeah,
yeah,
I'd be all right with that.
I'd be okay with that.
So yeah, so those were some great episodes, and then coming up, we're gonna have a very well-known personality in veterinary technician profession is one of our guests.
Someone that I
Uh,
believe we'll see at Hive, right?
yeah, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. And then also, we were actually just emailed today. We got an email from somebody who does a lot of work with World Vets.
yeah. I'm excited
Um,
for that one.
yeah, and just kind of wanting to tell their story. I think that's going to be a fantastic episode. We've kind of talked to. I remember we talked to Amanda, one of our very first
Yeah,
episodes
very,
about
very.
World Vets. Of course, we've talked to Amber LaRock,
Yep. Who does a
about
lot of that? Yeah.
that work, and I remember we talked to Aaron Spencer about Ravs, and so like we've
Yep.
talked about some of these kind of topics before, but I there are a lot of people in our profession, a lot more I think than what we realize, that do this kind of work where you go to a foreign country that doesn't have great access to care and, rabies programs and spay neuter programs, and they go there and they do this for a week, 10 days, whatever it is. And you always hear like how rewarding that kind of work is. So I think it's going to be really great to have that conversation. Really looking forward to that one. Um,
Well, and I'm
and
just fascinated by the idea. Like when we talked to Natasha, she was like, I showed up in Germany and I didn't really speak German, and here I am
Mhm.
working on the floor with people that are speaking a language I don't understand. Like that to me is fascinating. And like just as part of World Vets, like going into a country where you may not know what people are
Yeah,
saying to you,
yeah.
and trying to communicate with them. I feel like that would be one of the hardest parts of doing something like that, but people make it work.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have another episode too that we have actually just recorded, was a really cool discussion about education, and not necessarily even educating veterinarians or veterinary technicians, but educating the educators,
Yeah, yeah.
and kind
Something
of
I wish
what.
I had when I was an educator.
Yeah, right, and just kind of what some of that looked like, and really unique, perspective on that, and thank you very much to Tasha McNerney for putting us in touch
Mhm. Yeah.
with Claire about that episode. I think you guys will really like that one. That one will be coming out soon. So, just a lot of really cool stuff in the rearview mirror and out the windshield, and we just keep saying, like, one of these days, we're gonna run out of episode material, but we just, then
We
all of a
we
sudden
we keep
we get an
finding
email
things
and it's
come out of
like,
the woodwork.
absolutely. So, or somebody will message us like Tasha and say, "Hey, I work with this person. I think they'd
Yeah.
be a great fit." And lo and behold, a week or two later, we have an episode. So,
Well, and I think like we said on one of the episodes, maybe the one we recorded with Claire was that our friends are better recruiters for this
yeah,
podcast than we are.
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, is great because it means that we're
It
still
means they
telling
care.
people
Yeah.
stories, and people want to hear this stuff. So, I think it's really really cool to be a part of. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, really cool stuff coming. I think that's all we had really for today. It
Yeah.
was
We'll
just
have
kind of
another episode next week, and then the week after that, there will be a live at Hive.
live at Hive.
I don't know what the time is gonna be. Wasn't it like 4
We
PM?
I think we kind of did it during the happy hour
Yeah,
last
so
year.
right
Because
right
remember, like we had drinks in the,
that's right, that's right.
so
Yeah,
whenever
so
that'll be.
4
Actually,
or 5 PM Eastern Standard
yeah,
Time will be
I
when we do the live at 5.
was gonna say I have the,
Oh,
yeah,
is
the
it in the
opening night social, so that's 4 to 5:30 on the Saturday night,
is it in the
on August
program?
1st. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It
Yep.
is.
Yep, 4 to 5:30 Eastern, on Saturday, August 1st, so that'll be our next tap room, which is great because 'cause that'll take care of August's tap room.
I
Uh,
don't see it on
it's the blue box all the way at the bottom on the first page, opening night social.
oh, but it doesn't say anything about the
Oh, it doesn't say anything about us or anything
but
like that.
that's when we're gonna be doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when we'll be doing it, yeah.
Excellent.
So, yeah, but if you are in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, if you need CE, if you're thinking about Hive, can't recommend it enough. If you are attending, say hi to Dave and I. We'd love to chat with you and get a picture and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah,
hope
we'd
to see
love
you
to get a
guys there.
picture.
Yeah, for sure. Hope to see you guys there. And if you're more West Coast, consider Hive West in Phoenix in late October. We'll both be there as well. That'll be another great program. And once all that's released, we'll talk more about that too. But in the meantime, we hope you guys are well, and we'll see you live in Charlotte, actually Concord, North Carolina, in about 2 weeks.
It's close enough to Charlotte. We can call
Yeah,
it Charlotte.
yeah, yeah. All right, bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.